Hi all, welcome back. And in this class, you'll be learning under the pricing and the factors of production, fourth part. This is the fourth module for economics of executives paper, BBA Aviation, second semester. So let's get started to learn the fourth part of fourth module. In this video, you will learn about risk theory. The first part of the video contained marginal productivity theory. The second part contained Keynes liquidity preference theory. The third part of the video had dynamic theory of profit. This is the fourth part. You will be learning about risk theory. So let's understand quickly the meaning and the importance of risk theory in terms of profit bearing of a company. What is this risk theory of profit? This was formulated by F.B. Holley in 1893. He says that profit is a reward for risks and responsibilities that an entrepreneur undertakes himself. Yes, of course, because profit is the one called reward for the entrepreneur himself. If we say wages, it is for labor. If we say interest, it is for capital. Isn't it? So the profit is for the entrepreneur himself. Why should he take profit is a question. That profit he will take because he will undertake risk and responsibilities of bringing all factors of production towards producing some output. So it is the entrepreneur who is called as an active factor who will bring in or pull in all the factors of production by taking risk and responsibilities. So the profit share will be given to an entrepreneur himself. And according to him, risk in business arises from product obsolescence, fall in prices, superior substitutes, natural calamities, or scarcity of certain factors of production. So he have defined risks in business in different ways. How does he define? First, from the product obsolescence. Obsolescence means becoming old. Yeah, if the product is becoming old in the market, then it is a risk for a businessman, isn't it? All the time a businessman must improve or upgrade his product. If that is not happening, then it is a risk for him. The second one is fall in prices. If the prices fall, might be naturally or might be man-made. I'll tell you how naturally. Due to the natural calamities, prices might fall. Due to the lack of demand, prices might fall. Man-made, for example, if there is a government rules and regulations which is making your prices to fall. If it is the competitors who is making your prices to fall, then it is a risk for business. Then superior substitutes. If your product is having a substitute which is very much better than your product, then it is also a risk for businessmen. Natural calamities, it is naturally called as a risk for your business. Or scarcity of certain factors of production. Say it might be the capital, it might be the land, it might be the labor, anything you take. If there occurs the scarcity of these factors of production, then your product might also fall, decline in the value, and the risk for businessman will arise. So these are the factors which will increase the risk of businessmen from the making the organization better or gaining his profits. Instead, even then, the businessman will take a risk of bringing in, pulling in all factors of production to have a better business and to gain profit. Many people are not prepared to undertake risk. See, there are some entrepreneurs who will prepare the normal products. There are some entrepreneurs who will always or continuously innovate products. So, there are some people who are not undertaking risks. Those entrepreneurs will not get the profits or will not get more profits compared to a person who is doing much innovation in his product. So generally an entrepreneur has to face several risks in business. For example, you might be an entrepreneur, I might be an entrepreneur. Both the entrepreneur will not have a different risks, but instead we will have a different types of risk according to the product we produce and the market we sell upon. So the businesses that involves higher risk give a more profit, or the business with a lower risk give lesser profit. That is what our theory of profit means here. So profit is directly or indirectly related to the risks. Here it has been mentioned clearly that it has a direct relationship. If the risk increases, profit increases. If the risk decreases, then the profit also decreases. So according to this theory, any type of risks give a rise to the profit, regardless the risk is avoidable or not. Whether the risk can be avoided or the risk is unavoidable, do not worry. If you are doing or taking the risk, then you will get the profit. That is what this theory is meant upon. Next, what kind of risks does the businesses face? There are many risks we can list upon, but I have mentioned few here. These kind of risks might be from nature, might be from man-made. Let's differentiate between man-made and natural risks. Fall in price. This might happen due to man-made facilities or due to government or due to even natural. So this can be mentioned in both of that. That can be due to natural calamities or due to the man-made risks. Competition of new products, as we know, daily, for a minute, for a second, every time the innovation is happening. If the competition is very high, then the risk of business will also get higher. Fire and marine accidents. This is also a kind of risk where we don't know, we can't even avoid some kind of risks, and these risks are high riskier in nature, where your profits are also high if you win, but the losses are very high when you also loosen. Sudden fall in demand can also happen, which is even more riskier to the business. Next comes the term of depreciation. Depreciation is the money value which is coming down, or continuous decrease down of your money value, or continuous decrease of the value of your products or the inputs what you have. Even that counts for the risk in business. For example, you have very old machinery. That cost is majority of your depreciation cost. It will not help you to get a better product. So that's also a risk for business. Next comes natural calamities. As the name suggests, it is nature, and it is unavoidable risk for a businessman. Businessman can have insurance, but can't have the insurance for these kind of natural calamities. Next comes superior substitutes. Already mentioned, if the superior substitute, if the product you have, whatever you manufacture, compared to that another competitor is producing better, then it is called as superior substitutes. People may go for that. Then business risk will be higher even then. Next comes obsolescence of machinery and equipment. Every time, whenever you produce, you must also look on how old is your machinery are. If it is very old, then you must think of selling it off or buying a new machinery, because that is also business risk of producing products with the old equipments or old machinery. Next comes, what are the major criticisms for this theory? This theory do not talk about few things. That will be majorly focused on the criticism part. The first one is no direct relation between profit and risk. People say, the other economists prove that it is not only the risk which is measuring as profit, but beyond risk there are some other factors, which this theory is not been mentioning. Next, profit is a reward for avoidance of risk. If you avoid a risk, then profit might also be rewarded for you. But every time taking risk will not award profit for an entrepreneur. Risk is not the factor of production. See, as we mentioned, we have passive factor, active factors of production. In those four, we have not mentioned or not covered about risk. And this is not called as a factor of production. Due to that, taking risk will not fetch you the profit. Next, all risks doesn't or don't give rise to profit. For example, you take unnecessary risks, you take unavoidable risks, you face different kind of risk where that will not fetch you profit at all. Unnecessary waste of time and energy will be gone by facing these risks. So whichever the risks will give you profit, only must focus on those risks. Next is about reward for all the things performed by organization like innovation, skills, technology and organization are also important for gaining profit. It's not only the risk being mentioned in the risk theory. It is not only risk which is fetching us the profit. No, not at all. It is the reward for the innovation made, for the skills upgraded, for the technology made, and whatever the organization structure you have. On the basis of this also profit is being gained. But this theory doesn't highlight that. I hope you're understanding. Thank you for patience listening. We shall meet in the next video.